I'm in the gallery here at FCC, and I'm looking at the show of the artist Homer Yost, who's created a wonderful exhibition here entitled From Hell to Healing. Thanks for coming, Homer.
Thank you.
Let me just ask you first, are you a local Frederick guy? Where did you become an artist? How did this work?
Yeah, not originally. I was born in New Jersey, grew up there, in Hawaii, Baltimore County. I moved to Frederick and went to colleges in various places. But I moved to Frederick in about '87.
You have great skill, I know you do, at drawing. I would say you're a great draftsman, and that leads you to your sculpture, it seems to me. A lot of the things that you have here are relief sculptures, like the one we're standing next to here. I see that in the show here you have paid homage to two other artists that I know about, Katie Kolovitz and Leonard Baskin, both of whom we know as much about their drawing as we do their sculpture.
That's true.
I mean, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting, too, because the piece, the Pietà, which is a subtitled an homage to Katie Kolovitz, although not initially when I started the sculpture, I realized that this sculpture is inspired by very specific drawings and I think prints that she did of Pietàs.
It really connects thematically to a lot of the work that you have in this show, too. The suffering that
it does.
You deal with in the hurricane sculptures. And let's take a look at those.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. A lot of the work here deals with the hurricane, Katrina. Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, I went with a volunteer group from Jefferson down to Biloxi in 2006, which was, the year after, but less than a year after the hurricane hit. So I shot about 1,000 photographs of both destruction and survivors. So I had no intention of doing any artwork when I took those photos. It wasn't until after I returned that I decided to do a series of relief sculptures. This piece
as a man, I've read the story.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of family members, and he's singing Amazing Grace, and so it's a really powerful story, and it's a really strong image. This is an interesting one because it's the bridge near Biloxi, and I'm just wondering how you arrived at this configuration.
It really just starts with realism. It starts with what's in front of me, which is what I do. I don't really create things out of my head. This bridge really moved me. There was also something about the fact that it just cut off communication between the two towns. I think it's like a 12-mile bridge. It's really just half the bridge because that's the part of the bridge that goes up midway. So that's just halfway across the water.
The way it presents itself is like a perspective drawing because things are moving further away from us as they go up. The chaos of the wreck of the bridge, you still get a sense of perspective into space.
Yeah. Willis was a man who lost his home, and his daughter lost her home right next to him. And his sister-in-law, they're sort of in a triangle right there on Bearded Oak Lane, right on the water. But this man was the most resilient man. He was in his late 70s then. He lost his wife the year before the hurricane.
Wow.
The most positive, forward-looking man. He sort of captured the spirit, to me, of the other end of what happened in Biloxi. You have the hell of the destruction, the hell that everybody went through down there, and then you have the healing process. And this man is like the ultimate survivor.
And the way you give him to us here, he's like a saint. We're looking at this series of images that deal with Christian faith. It's the Stations of the Cross, right? And how did these come about?
Well, I got some commissions, church commissions. Actually, the first commission where I did the Stations of the Cross in this way. And you were talking about printmaking.
That looks like
and
that's
drawing.
A drawing. That's a drawing.
Yeah, it's a drawing in clay.
Yeah.
A ceramic artist would call it sgraffito, where you draw lines on clay.
I like the grayness here again, the tonality of them. It's somber, as a result of that matte, flat surface, and you need to come up close to them in order to really involve yourself with what's going on. Yeah, all of these also, to me, show again that idea that the drawing is where the image begins, and then the drawing is just shoved out a little bit into three
Right,
dimension.
right. In terms of low relief, I'd have to say that there is an artist that influences me more than anybody else, and that's Giacomo Manzu.
Yeah, I thought of Manzu
Yeah.
when I looked at these reliefs. They're pretty powerful. I want to go stand by the lamb again.
Okay.
White work, and we'll end there. Is your most recent piece.
Yes.
And maybe the largest in the show?
Largest relief I've ever done.
It seems to me that this is a nice piece to kind of conclude all the content in the show, because it's an uplifting, hopeful image of youth, a little lamb and a little boy, the promise of good things to come. Life size. This is
Actually, over life size, because
over
he
life
was
size.
he was 4 years old, so he would have been less than 4
Right,
feet
right,
tall.
right.
Yeah, and this relief is 62 inches high. So
white is the appropriate color, I think, for this, don't you?
yeah, not planned as such, but yes, I think so.
Well, I'm really glad I got the chance to talk to you. Homer, show was cut short because of all that snow we had, which compounded
white
everything.
snow.
That white snow, everything here at FCC. So thanks again, Homer, for
Thank
letting
you,
us
David.
talking about your work.
Thanks a lot.
All right.